I gave you my heart.
Yo, what's up, Piston Nation? Back at you with another one on today. If you have not subscribed to Noble Sports Entertainment, then what are you waiting for? Because we talk sports, period. All right, guys, without further ado, I want to talk about the Detroit Pistons, and this is off-season talk. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, guys, the number one thing, if you are the president of basketball operations, or you are a GM, or you are someone on the Pistons that evaluates talent and trying to figure out what can get the Pistons to go to the next level. The biggest thing is that you got three guys that you can work with. Now, if the Pistons are not trading Reggie Jackson, or they're keeping their big three intact, you got to find ways to find depth on the team. And the Pistons are going to have to do some serious evaluating of what they want to do, you know, especially if you're not developing the young talent on your in your backcourt. Now, the Pistons have a couple guards on the team. We know that they got Bruce Brown. We know that they got Kyrie Thomas. And I really think that the Pistons really should be developing these guys and allowing them to play. I definitely think that Kyrie Thomas has the potential. He just has not been able to show it. Bruce Brown has had a numerous amount of opportunities out on the floor because he plays excellent defense, but he is not an offensive threat. And that's something that the Pistons need. You need people that can score. You need people when Reggie Jackson and Andre Drummond and Blake Griffin don't got it going. You need some guys that can go out there and get you buckets. Definitely, I have talked about them picking up Isaiah Thomas. I definitely would pick up Isaiah Thomas and bring him off the bench. I would bring in guys that can score. I would think about guys like Rodney Hood that I possibly can bring in to be a starter. Rodney Hood definitely could be a starter, whether he's coming off the bench or being a starter. I would definitely figure out ways on how I can get this team a little bit better and that we're not getting put out every year in the first round. That's the biggest thing for the Pistons right now, is trying to figure out how to develop the talent on the team, being able to draft well. That's something that the Pistons, as of late, the Pistons have not been hitting gold on drafting well, and they have to start drafting guys well, where they're allowing guys. Now, Stanley Johnson, they did give numerous opportunities to, but Stanley, you know, when we first saw Stanley, we thought that Stanley was going to be a beast. And we thought Stanley, you know, because he was putting up some big numbers, you know, hitting like 25, 26, you know, in the summer ball and things of that nature. But he just did not work out. And now that you have this draft pick, the 15th pick, you got to make sure that you're scouting well and that you're getting the best possible talent that you possibly can get, whether it's a big man, whether it's a point guard or a small forward, power forward, whatever. You got to make sure that you're scouting the best possible talent, and you got to be able to develop that talent. And that's something that the Pistons have to be better in doing, is developing their talent that they have on their roster. If you're not playing guys, then guys can't truly help you out. And that's something that I definitely think that the Pistons need to do this season. They got to evaluate the talent, and they have to develop the talent on their team. Bruce Brown got the opportunity to play. Luke Kennard gets the opportunity to play. But you didn't see much of Kyrie Thomas. And that was a major concern for me, because I thought that Kyrie Thomas should have been playing over some of those other guys and getting that experience. But the Pistons didn't decide to call his number. They was calling other guys' number, like Langston Galloway and Ish Smith and things of that nature. But I don't think that the Pistons will bring Ish back. They possibly could bring him back, but I don't think they will. The Pistons, if you're not trading Reggie Jackson, I'm definitely not going to say on this one that they need to trade Dre Drummond or they need to trade Blake Griffin. If you're not trading Reggie Jackson and you're keeping Reggie Jackson intact as your starting point guard, then you need to find a point guard that's going to be able to play behind him, and there's somebody that will be useful to them, somebody that will be able to go out and add that scoring punch or play some great defense. And we know that Bruce Brown can do that, but he doesn't give you much on the offensive end. So I think that the Pistons really need to evaluate their talent, develop their talent, and make sure that they're doing the key things to get better. You know, when you go into the offseason, that's what you do. You reevaluate the team, you reevaluate the roster and say, man, how can we get more depth on this team? How can we get better as the Detroit Pistons? Because we was in, you know what I'm saying, the 8th seed last season, which we could have actually been in a higher seed, but we started dropping games. So how can we develop talent on our roster, and how can we go out and get free agents that will come in and play for the minimum that will be able to be contributors to this team? So that's what the Pistons need to do, guys. You let me know in the comment section, what do you think the Detroit Pistons need to do to rebuild and get depth on the team? All right, you guys, I'm out of here. Peace.
I gave you my heart.